up, people? I probably should have vlogged this morning. It's stupid of me not to. I'm gonna go up the stairs now because I'm in the mall. I just went to a book signing. One of my favorite authors, Victoria Aveyard. She wrote The Red Queen. It's a series. It's amazing. Go follow her on her Twitter, her Instagram, her Facebook page at Victoria Aveyard. Of course, as I usually do, I'll put it below. But it was amazing. She's like super chill, super cool. She's got such an insight on writing, and I find it so interesting because we did a Q&A session with her, and she talked about the fact that she didn't go to school for writing at all. Well, she did go to school for writing, but she went to school for screenwriting. And she said 90% of the time when it comes to books, you will get the book picked up or published by something, but when it comes to screenwriting, 90% of the time you don't get it picked up, but you still get paid for it. And I found that really interesting, not just for the getting paid for it, but from the fact that it's like, I love writing, and I haven't yet found a way to marry my love of writing and my love of acting. And talking to her today was so interesting. She told me she studied at USC for film writing and screenwriting. She'd use the correct terminology if I'm going to talk about her. I just met her, but she's super interesting, and I loved hearing her talk about her book and about publishing and how the idea came to her. I'll insert a picture. They were kind enough to let us take pictures, and she signed 3 of the 4 books that I own. It was super awesome. I would have vlogged meeting her, and I would have vlogged more of the session, but A, my arm got tired holding up the camera for the 4 minutes of footage I got from the Q&A. And then I also kind of wanted to respect her privacy and the people around her, because she's only here for one night. She only has so much time to talk to every person and sign 3 books for each person. Like, that's crazy. I don't know how she does it. I've never got to meet my favorite author before, or one of my favorite authors. I have a lot of them. I read way too much. Like, if I ever get to meet Suzanne Collins or John Green or Hank Green, I know his book's coming out, but I'm still a fan of Hank Green regardless. Cornelia Funk, whole bunch of authors that I love dearly. If I ever get to meet them, I'll be so lucky. So yeah, I'm gonna get some food now. I'll insert some clips. This morning, I got here like right when the bookstore opened so that I could get a wristband to go to the event, because only 200 people were getting book signings, and I had to be one of them.
So the ending never changed. What happened, I had figured out from very early on the emotional ending that I wanted, and then in the middle of Glass Sword I figured out how I was going to get to both that part and where the rest of the pieces were going to fall. Prose writing and screenwriting are very similar, actually. The story structure is exactly the same. At least I use the same story structure for both. It's the format that's pretty much different. Screenplays are, at most, unless you're Quentin Tarantino, 120 pages long. That's it. Publishers. A lot of people think that they don't realize there's a step in between the manuscript and the publisher, at least in traditional publishing. So for everybody that's getting an agent, and having a publishing agent is incredibly important.
So your battle scenes are epic, so what kind of research do you have to do to write?
Kind kind of research that gets you on a watch list. But no, every single author is on a watch list. Every single one. Even like the fluffy contemporaries, they're on a watch list. Mr. FBI man who lives on my computer. No, research-wise, I really love writing my set pieces and my action sequences. I choreograph them a little bit. Sometimes I'll have to draw out, and I love maps, but I will draw out, this army is moving in this way, or these characters have to get to this part, and here's where this is going to happen, this is going to happen, they're going to run into this. Just visualizing that really helps you break it down and figure out the way you're going to write it. Writing-wise, I try to be as visceral and immediate and as fast as possible in those moments, and it helps that you're in first-person POV, which also makes it easier to do things without explaining them as much, because they're just happening to the character as they're happening. She's not thinking, oh, these 10 steps have led to now someone's jumping on me from behind. It's someone's just jumping on you from behind. So that makes it a little bit more immediate and enjoyable for the reader.
Sure. So in the beginning, you planned for a Queen to just be a trilogy. So how and when did it become a 4-book series?
So the ending never changed. What happened, I had figured out from very early on the emotional ending that I wanted, and then in the middle of Glass Sword I figured out how I was going to get to both that part and where the rest of the pieces were going to fall. And so when I started outlining the 3rd book, I realized I'm not going to get to that place. I'm not going to get A to B to C in this one book, and if I try, it's going to be horrendous. The pacing will be all off. It'll be a real doorstop, and it'll be horrible, and no one will enjoy it. So luckily, my publisher was great about letting me come back and say, I need one more book. And of course, we will do one more book. And now here I am, that one out into the world like Moses down the river.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're really in love with your covers. They look so good together. Can you tell us about the cover design? Do you have any say in what these look like?
Yeah, these covers are awesome, and I think more than anything any one of us has done, these covers have sold these books. But for the most part, yeah, they were very, very inclusive of me, which is not necessarily the norm. I've heard, great stories from authors who have had a lot of input on their covers, and I've heard stories from authors who were essentially told, this is your cover and deal with it. But they asked me, what do you like in a book cover, and what do you want on the book cover? And I said, I like simple covers. In 2015, when this first debut, covers were very busy and there was lots going on, so I thought, well, the only way that we're going to stand out is if we do less. So I want to do a symbol, something like Hunger Games, Divergent, Game of Thrones, Outlander, those are the book covers I love. Let's do an upside down crown. And they're like, great, can we put blood on it? Yes, please. And then from then on, we kind of I guess we really struck oil on that one. We loved the cover. In hindsight, we looked like geniuses, even though I guess they really had to fight to get that one through. And then we had an iconography kind of set up for the rest of the books, and we went with crowns for every single one, and we matched the titles, they matched what's happening in the book. Some people have noticed that the blood colors have changed a little bit from book to book, which was really fun to see happen. And then the color gradient is so cool. That was my cover designer. There's a microphone. I was just going to shout at you guys.